Every day, the people inside this building make decisions that have a direct impact on your life here in Austin.
Is there any discussion?
It's the people's building, but very few know what actually goes on inside. Until now. Welcome to 301 West 2nd Street, your City Hall.
Hi there, I'm News 8 City Hall reporter Reagan Hackleman, and welcome to another edition of 301 West 2nd Street, your inside look at Austin City Hall. But this week for our interview segment, we're actually going to head outside of City Hall. We're going to head over to Austin Energy and talk with the man many credit for making Austin a worldwide leader in alternative power, the general manager, Roger Duncan, who did announce earlier this week that he's retiring in March.
The electric utility industry as a whole is undergoing a lot of change, and we've had the privilege of being in the forefront of that change, dealing with both the opportunities and the challenges of transitioning to renewable energy resources and dealing with the climate change issues and so forth in the industry. We've done a good job at least addressing the issues, if not solving all the issues, and giving our city council some good options to deal with the future. The issues that you're dealing with are so momentous, the change of climate in the Earth's atmosphere, resource depletion of major transitions away from fossil fuels. It's really time for us to develop new leadership and to train people and to move forward with a new leadership team. Really, over the 35 years that I've been involved with the city, I think being general manager of Austin Energy was the most fun I've had.
The City Council was off last week, but that doesn't mean there wasn't some news here at City Hall.
You might say Zilker Park is suffering from one nasty hangover. On Monday, city crews began the process of repairing the park after this year's ACL Festival. Take tens of thousands of people, add some rain, and you get a whole lot of mud. A good portion of the mud was something called dillo dirt, a mixture of chopped up yard trimmings and treated raw sewage. The city says it looks like most of the newly laid grass survived, but it's going to take longer than expected to reopen the park. City staff says at the earliest, Zilker will reopen by the end of this month. About that same time, Austin's police chief should make a decision about an officer who shot and killed a man back in May. Monday, the city of Austin released an independent investigation concerning the shooting of Nathaniel Sanders. Acevedo says the report was only part of the whole process, and it concludes the criminal investigation was done in a competent manner. However, the report did say APD's internal affairs investigation was biased toward the officers involved, a finding the president of Austin's police union simply doesn't agree with.
I have never seen any evidence that internal affairs is biased towards officers. Just actually the opposite is the evidence that I've seen through the years.
Much of the 131-page report has been redacted because of the ongoing investigation. Police Chief Art Acevedo is supposed to make up his mind by November 7th. And finally, it looks like Bull Creek Park will be closing down for at least 6 months. On Wednesday, the city's environmental board recommended to the city's park director to shut the park down so it can be restored. It's what happens next that's at the center of a passionate debate. The city wants to let dogs in the park after it's reopened, but only if they're on a leash and only on a trial basis. The city says the water in the creek has become unsafe for people to swim in because of bacteria from dog waste.
We perceive this as a fundamental conflict of use of having dogs, particularly dogs off leash, next to these low-flowing bodies of water that people like to swim in.
After the park is reopened, the city will take some more water samples to see if keeping dogs on their leash helps with water quality. If the parks director gives the final approval, the park will close down in November. The city will spend about $200,000 restoring it.
The City Council will be meeting this week here in the council chambers. It starts at 10 o'clock on Thursday. Here's a quick look at some of the issues they'll be talking about.
Friday Night Lights is back on the agenda this week. Council will discuss changing the economic incentive agreement between the city and the TV show. The city wants to lower the number of episodes that need to be filmed in order for the show to get $40,000 per year from the city of Austin. The council will also look at making urban farming more affordable, or at least the water needed to grow sustainable local food right here in the city. And finally, the city council will ask the city manager to work with Austin Energy to try and find more money for the city's solar panel rebate program.
That's all the time we have for this week's show. Be sure to join us again next week right here at 301 West 2nd Street. Goodbye. How did I not fall?
If John Tyndall had a problem and needed to call a city council member to help clean it up,
I wouldn't know where to start.
one reason he wouldn't know where to start, because all 6 city council members represent him.
It's unusual. Most cities don't run that way.
Could you also explain that?
In fact, Austin is the largest city in the state that still elects city leaders at large. But Tyndall's state senator, Jeff Wentworth of San Antonio, wants to change how Austin elects its city leaders.
At any point, if you want...
Wentworth has filed a bill requiring Austin to switch to single-member districts.
Right now, these 6 city council members are elected by everyone in Austin, and they represent everyone in Austin. This is an example of what single-member districts could look like. Let's say you live here in the green section, South Austin. That means someone on the city council is elected by people in South Austin, and they also live in South Austin.
Single-member districts are needed. We support it.
Community activist Gus Pena thinks single-member districts would bring more Hispanic voices to the council, but he believes having it forced on Austin is not the way to go about it.
The state of Texas should not mandate to the citizens of the city of Austin. Let it be a citywide election, and it'll be a fair process according to the city charter.
Motion passes unanimously.
Even though more than half of the council supports the idea of single-member districts, all 7 voted Monday to oppose Senator Wentworth's bill.
It's probably something that should be done at a citywide level. But as far as having single-member districts, that makes a lot of sense to me.
It makes sense to a lot of people, but only if voters in Austin get to decide, not a vote at the state capitol.